everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Olokesusi. This is the Spirit of Freedom Ministry. I hope you're having an amazing week. Happy new month in the new month of July. That is the month I was born. So my birthday is coming so soon. It's coming so soon. Thank you for the gift of life. I hope you all are doing awesome. I hope work and family is going fine. I know the last time it was prayer session that we had, but before then I started a teaching on self-discovery, and the goal was to move from self-discovery to self-training, and from there to self-mastery. And I said I was going to, the next time we meet, which is this video, I was going to start teaching on self-training. But as I was just thinking about it, I just caught some revelations, some ideas. And I said, okay, let me buttress more. Let me teach more on the self-discovery before I jump into self-training. So this will be like a conclusion of self-discovery, which is part 2 of self-discovery. I know the last time I talked about 5 questions you can ask yourself to point you to the kind of person you are. You know, these are a series of questions, things that trigger you, the things that you feel accomplished doing, what drains you, what makes you happy, excited, what increases your energy. These are pointers to the kind of person you are and the way God has wired you, and also to show you your flaws and your weaknesses and all of that. But today, I just wanted to back up those 5 questions with something that I learned when I was doing my MBA sometime last year, which was in the class of a business strategy, I think. And it is SWOT. We all know that. SWOT, which is SWOT, which is what? Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strength for S, W, weaknesses, O for opportunities, and T for threats. If you can, most organizations, whichever industry they are, they have to understand their SWOT analysis. They need to analyze their SWOT to know how they can compete in the industry that they find themselves. They need to understand their strengths, they need to understand their weaknesses, they need to understand the opportunities they have in the market, and they need to understand the threats that they have. Most often, the threats are probably competitors, for example. External factors or internal, whichever one. See yourself as a company. See yourself as an organization. And try to do the SWOT analysis of yourself. This will give you a pointer of the kind of person you are. This will give you a pointer of how God has wired you. So for example, SWOT or strength, SWOT, which is the S, let's start with the S, letter S, which is the strength. Your strength can be hard work. You can be very hardworking. You can be very, very hardworking. You have a lot of strength to do so many things. You can be very hardworking. You can be compassionate. That can be a strength. You can be very compassionate. You have compassion. You can love prayer. You can love prayer. It can be weird. But some people actually love prayer. I love prayer. Especially prophetic prayer. I'll give you a little hint of my own SWOT analysis, but I'm just giving you an idea. You can love to teach. Or you can have patience. Can be your strength. Patience can be your strength. Creativity can be your strength. Or discernment can be your strength. Being handy. Your hand can work so many things. As a laborer, you can fix electronics, you can fix broken stuff. You are just so creative in fixing stuff. Home gadgets, cars, whatever it is. You are handy. That can be your strength. So that is the S part of the SWOT, strength. And you will be the one to answer it yourself. I don't know you. I don't know how you've been wired. I don't know what you love. I don't know what you do. So much so that people give you compliments for it. Like, wow, you're so good at doing this, man. You receive several validations and praise. The weaknesses also, which is the W now, it could be people pleasing. These are a little bit of my weaknesses. People pleasing. Lack of boundaries. Before. Lack of boundaries. That could be a weakness. Seeking external validation can be a weakness, because here you are handing your power to someone else until the person doesn't approve the ideas that you have. You think it is no good. It can be a weakness. Seeking always seeking external validation before making a move or before believing in your own idea. You don't trust yourself to make good decisions. Seeking external validation can be a weakness. Burden carrying. You feel like everybody's burden should be yours. You feel like you are destined, or you are the one to carry everybody's burden. You can't. Only God can do that. Only God. You can only do your part and leave the rest. So this was one of my weaknesses then. Burden carrying. I want to carry the burdens of all that. And this was due to my high level of compassion and empathy. So you want to solve everybody's problems. I am not Jesus. I don't solve everybody's problem. Jesus is the one that he has the capability to solve everybody's problem. Those that come to, especially even those, some, he wouldn't solve it. So, that's not what I mean. Over forgiving. Empathy without discernment can be a weakness too. Lust after women, after girls, after money, after position, after power, after fame. Lust is an unhealthy desire. Lust is any unhealthy desires. Lust for power, lust for fame, lust for women, lust for houses, lust for cars, materialism. So let us put it that way. Materialism, lust. Gluttonous, loving food so much. That's not mine, but I love good food. I love eating my own food. I cook a lot. Yeah. So gluttonous. Oversleeping can be someone else's weakness. Just an example. That is not mine. Oversleeping can be, so that can be compared to laziness. Oversleeping. You sleep a lot. I have to sleep for 12 hours every day. I have to sleep for 13 hours. I don't like waking up 7 a.m. in the morning. If it is not 11, I don't like waking up. Especially if you did not do work in the night shift. You still slept probably 9 p.m. and you are still waking up around 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. That is extreme. So that can be a weakness. Opportunities. Opportunities can, have the opportunity to teach in the school, have the opportunity to preach, have the opportunity to solve, use that handiness to turn into business and solve and do it for money or do it for help and do it for whatever it is that you want to intend to get in reward. The opportunities, analyze the opportunities based on your strength. The strength that you have, analyze the opportunities that can be provided to enhance the strength. Just have a full understanding of who you are. What are the opportunities in your immediate environment? In my own house, I set up these to start as a studio to do my stuff. This is an opportunity. The internet is an opportunity. The laptop that you have is an opportunity. Your friends on Facebook or followers or whatever, they are opportunities. Opportunity to propagate the gospel, to show your gifts and their talent, to the world, to make the world a better place. Is an opportunity. So think deep and understand yourself. Discover yourself. What are the opportunities that are around you that can enhance your strength in your immediate environment? What are the opportunities? And the last one is the threats. What are the things that threaten the manifestation of your strength, of your gift, or that threatens your opportunities. For example, unhealthy competitors can be threats to you. Those that are in the same field as you, those that have the same talent like you, those that don't even have, but they are jealous of you. There is a possibility of that. Or they are competing with you. But competition is good. I'm talking of unhealthy competition here. Known or unknown competitors. Unhealthy competitions can be threats. Do you get what I'm saying now? Wrong beliefs. If I do this, I can't be successful. That can be a wrong belief. If I do this, people will not buy it. That can be a wrong belief. So check out the wrong beliefs that you have. Either that was planted in you since you were born or since you were little, in your growing up or whatever it is. Wrong beliefs. You can't do it. You're not strong enough. You don't do. You're not smart enough. Maybe somebody spoke something about you, into you since you were young, and you've been carrying it all around, and you believed it. You believe the lie of the enemy. Wrong beliefs. Check it out. Wrong beliefs. What are the wrong beliefs that you have that can hinder you or threaten the manifestation of your strength? Wrong beliefs. Fear of rejection can be one of the wrong beliefs too. I will be rejected. That will be rejected. If I do this, no. Fear. What if fear can be part of it. Especially fear of rejection. Toxic relationships too can be a threat to your destiny, to your gifts, to your talent, to who God has called you to be. Toxic relationships and toxic environments. If you are in a place surrounded by people that smoke weed or do drugs all the time, you will always find yourself in that environment, going to the club where there's going to and the environment of drug dealing and all of that. That's where you find yourself. These can be threats to the gift and the destiny that God has planted in you. Can you see that? So toxic environment and toxic relationships can also be threats to your destiny, can also be threats to who you are born to be. Lack of funds. Money is important. Money is needed for vision. Money is important for purpose. To fulfill destiny, sometimes you need materials, you need equipment, you need stuff. And these things, you can't go to the market and steal them. Except if you are fortunate to be given, you will need funds to provide these things. So lack of funds can also be a threat. It can be a threat. Family history and family patterns can also be a threat. We've never done something like this in my family. We've never done something like this in our family. And that is probably how God wants to move. A female has never been a prophet somewhere. Wrong beliefs. It's still wrong beliefs. Or family history and pattern. In my family, this is how we do it. And God is moving away from that history, from that pattern. But the people might be rigid and stick to it. So that can frustrate the strength and the gifts that you have. So these are part of the things you need to think about to understand who you are. This will add to the 5 questions I talked about the last 2 videos for you to identify who you are. If I talk about mine, how did I get to this spiritual level that I'm teaching here? I noticed that since I was little, fortunately, I was born in a Christian home, and my mom would always want we're all boys, to go to church. And fortunately, I was brought up in a praying ministry. But there are so many that were giving birth to or being brought up in a praying ministry like that they don't still have passion for prayer. But there's something about my soul anytime I'm in the midst of prayer, especially prophetic prayers. Passion rises in me. It tastes like honey when I'm in that environment. As little as when I was 14, 13, 15, before I even knew God. Then after like 18 or so, I started having dreams. I went to pray with a prophet, and he prayed and he said fast. And after fasting, I felt like my eyes were open and I began to have dreams. And then at that age, I bought my first dream interpretation book from a prophet. A prophet wrote that book, Dream Interpretation. I bought it 50 naira in Nigeria. Naira is Nigerian currency. I bought it 50 naira as a then. Looking at all the dreams, anytime I had a dream, I would go to the book, try to interpret it and all of that. Can you see? And then I started loving, when I pray, I noticed that I love to decree. I love to command. I love to decree. So with the dream interpretation and the praying ministry, then after a while, I noticed that I love to teach. So I taught in high school mathematics. I taught in some elementary school also, but taught in high school to the senior level. You know, in Nigeria, we call them SS1, 2, and 3. Senior secondary. In America, we call them senior high school. So I taught to that level, mathematics. Even while I was in college in Nigeria, I was still teaching, doing a tutor, as a tutor, mathematics, go to their houses and teach these students. So I love teaching. And that teaching, that gift, that passion for teaching led to the teaching of the word too. You know, teaching of the word. So there is the concept of a teacher, classroom teacher, in my teaching when I teach the word also, because there is the passion and the gift of teaching there. Can you see? Then I started and I figured out, okay, I love this. I love to pray. I love prophetic ministry. What is God telling me here? Then I started having dreams that confirms my call. And then I started buying books. Buying books. My library at home is full of IT and prophetic books. Those are the two categories of books you will see there, or leadership and all of that. So I started buying books to acquire knowledge, to develop it. Unfortunately for me, my father-in-law has a church. So once in a while, I am allowed to preach in the church. So then I started developing the teaching gift, the teaching, especially prophetic teaching. I love the prophetic side of it, and I love to teach. So when I teach, I am teaching prophetically according to the leading of God for that moment. So that if you watch me, I won't teach more of doctrine or history or this. I am more into the prophetic part of the teaching. That is who I am. God has called some people to teach the doctrine. So God has called some people to teach about the rapture when Jesus will come. They will have more revelation and insight on the coming back of Christ. Can you see that? Some might be apostolic, learning how to lead the church, how to organize the church, the administrative part of the church, and all of that. Mine is prophetic. Losing, releasing the captive, praying, casting out demons, and all of that. And also setting people free. Can you see that? And teaching wisdom, prophetic teaching. So when I knew this, with my teaching gift and all that, and I started investing in it, and one time I was told by my pastor brother, said God told him that I should start my own channel, online ministry. Even though I've had that dream before, but he now prophesied it and confirmed it. I said, okay, this is the time to do it. And I started. Here I am. Can you see that? But the signs have been there all along. So not to waste much of our time, if you look at the book of Judges, this is the story of Samson here too. God told Samson about all of this. If you look at the book of Judges 13, 24 to 25. Judges 13, 24 to 25. He says, when her son was born, this was when Samson was born, she named him Samson. And the Lord blessed him as he grew up. 25. And the Spirit of the Lord began to steer him while he lived in Manedan, while he lived in Manedan, which is located between the towns of Zorah and Eshtaol. Can you see that? The Spirit of the Lord began to steer him. The Spirit of the Lord has been steering you. You just need to listen. You need to watch your pattern, the pattern of your life. You need to watch the occurrence of your life. Meditate upon these things. Why do I love going here? Why do I love doing this? The Spirit of the Lord began, as for me, dreams and all of that, the Spirit of the Lord began to steer me. And He led me to start looking for books on prophetic books, dream interpretation. It was steering me, pushing me towards prophetic ministry, to watch prophetic prophets, and they pray and all of that, the way they decree and stuff like that. Can you see? The Spirit of the Lord has been steering you. You just need to focus and study and listen. Don't forget, Paul told Timothy, steer the gift that is already in you, that was deposited in you through the laying of hands. Steer the gift. It is there. Steer it up. But how can you steer what you do not know? So when you watch, you listen, you analyze yourself using this SWOT analysis and the 5 questions earlier in the last 2 videos, then you will understand that you have greatness in you. The treasures of God is already deposited in your vessel, in your body, your soul, and your spirit. I hope you are blessed. So next video, we will fully go into self-training. After you have now discovered yourself, analyze your strength, you know your weaknesses, you know the opportunities that you have, and you know the threats that are threatening your destiny and your purpose. What is the next thing? That is now self-training. Thank you for your time. I love you so much. And just enjoy the rest of your month and the weekend. Bye for now.